Straight ahead on CCX News, local volunteers prepare to help with record flooding in Houston, the enormous challenges they face, as well as the extraordinary needs in the weeks and months to come. Plus, the class that's no joyride, how a champion racer is teaching good driving habits. And later, a Brooklyn Center restaurant that's on a roll, thanks to the State Fair. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Local volunteers are gearing up for a historic relief effort after Hurricane Harvey.
28 Red Cross volunteers from Minnesota are either in Texas or on the way. Meanwhile, the Golden Valley organization is preparing for the long haul. A former Red Cross volunteer from Plymouth is not going this time, but after helping the Red Cross for 10 years, Barry Altman says there will be a lot of obstacles.
The first one is just getting there. The second is getting to a Red Cross location that has road access that in itself is not flooded out. There will be an extreme shortage of hotels, so that means that we have to set up shelters for the staff as well as shelters for any evacuees that are affected by this storm.
This video from the Red Cross shows volunteers working with flood victims at a shelter in downtown Houston. 3 mobile trucks from Minnesota are in Texas, including the Corpus Christi area where Harvey hit Friday night. Once it's safe, other volunteer groups like Headwaters in Golden Valley will join them to help families get back to a new normal.
We do whatever is needed in these situations, which could also be handing out food and water and supplies, or it could be any kind of physical cleanup, debris cleanup, and it's most likely going to be a long haul. This is a major record disaster.
A team from Headwaters could leave in 10 days to 2 weeks, and you can volunteer or help financially by contacting the Red Cross or Headwaters Relief. We'll have contact information on our website.
Now to a fatal shooting incident at a gas station in Crystal where police say they have arrested a suspect. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner says 18-year-old Havion Wesley of Brooklyn Park died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Wesley attended Patrick Henry High School last year where he played football. The shooting happened late Saturday night at the Super America on West Broadway, that's just south of Bass Lake Road. Crystal police say Wesley and the shooter appear to have known each other.
Meanwhile, in Brooklyn Park, another gas station shooting also remains under investigation. Police say a man was shot in the leg at the Shell gas station at 63rd and Zane. This occurred shortly before 10:30 Sunday morning. The man was treated and released at a local hospital, and police say the shooting happened after a near accident in the parking lot. All right. In Maple Grove, plans are underway for a large development in the city's gravel mining area. The city's planning commission will take up a proposal for a 50-acre business park consisting of 4 office and warehouse buildings. It would be located east of the fountains at the Arbor Lakes retail development. The city sees this area as an opportunity for higher wage, non-retail job growth. Meantime, in Brooklyn Park, the completion of Highway 610 is fueling construction of more industrial space.
In this week's Business Matters, we take a look at this development and a new business in New Hope that's hitting all the right chords.
In this store, we probably got 600 guitars, and they range from probably a dozen or more brands.
Less than a month after opening, Riff City Guitar is tapping into a customer base as varied as the guitars and accessories it offers.
We've got a lot of parents whose kids are taking guitar up for the first time. We do have a lot of performers, regular gig players.
Almost 5 years since opening its first location in St. Joseph, Riff City Guitar has built a commanding digital presence, with the majority of its sales coming from online. But inside the store, there are plenty of worthy notes, such as the full line of British-based Chapman guitars.
We're the only people that carry every instrument in the line in the United States.
The New Hope location offers a chance to bring in professional musicians, but it also offers customers the advantage of being able to try out the merchandise.
Tone's such a big thing for a lot of guitar players that they need to know what it feels like and what it sounds like.
In Brooklyn Park, make way for a major office and warehouse facility. It's the second phase of the 610 Commerce Center near the intersection of 93rd Avenue and West Broadway.
We view it as a very strong market right now, with businesses expanding and an employee base is strong in the Northwest, especially this Brooklyn Park market.
Minneapolis-based CSM Corporation, the developer and owner of the 610 Commerce Center project, is building a mirror image to its Phase 1, which is now 100% occupied with businesses such as Scholastic and Black Hawk Industrial. When this latest building is finished in February, it will be located next door to 2 hotels currently under construction.
I think that it's ultimately a really good sign for what's happening and what's to come.
Coming up, a Brooklyn Center restaurant finally gets its chance to shine at the State Fair.
Plus, the former Wayzata swimmer and Olympian takes over as the Trojans' head coach.
But for sunny and upper 70s on Tuesday. We'll be right back.
It took over a decade to find, but Beacon Academy Charter School now officially has its new home. Today's ribbon cutting marked the move from Maple Grove to Crystal. 600 students will attend the K-8 charter school. The new school is double the size of the previous one, and school starts next Tuesday. A Brooklyn Center restaurant is making its first appearance at the State Fair.
The owners of Quay Viet Village House say it took them years to get there. Here's Sonia Goins with the story.
It means my homeland in Vietnamese.
Quay Viet has been a staple in Brooklyn Center for at least 15 years. The family-owned restaurant is known for its tasty, gigantic egg rolls. Now fairgoers get to try them.
This is like the Super Bowl for all food concessionaires.
Vi Bowie is co-owner of the fair booth. She says it's been quite a journey getting here.
It's been about a 7-year journey. We started as a stick tent, a 10 by 10 tent, and we've had to work our way up to bigger and bigger fairs.
They've put in a lot of long hours and hard work at the Great Minnesota Get-Together, but it's paying off. Fairgoers were standing in line at 10 o'clock in the morning just to get their hands on an enormous egg roll. Egg roll, it's what's for breakfast.
It's very crispy. It has an abundant amount of meat in there, unlike some egg rolls I've had before, so it's got some nice vegetables too.
Some fairgoers describe the egg rolls as magical.
They're delicious. They're amazing. The best. I don't like egg rolls and I like these.
4 family members are running the fair booth. They take turns dishing out egg rolls and other goodies.
We're just trying to get the lines going and making sure no one has to wait too long.
The garlic wontons are a hot seller too.
There's scallions and garlic and a little sugar in them, and I think that's what surprises people, when it's sweet but savory at the same time.
Quay Viet owners say business is very good at the fair. They hope to start a tradition and make the egg roll just as popular as a pronto pup.
It has exceeded our expectations. We knew that people would like these, but not the reception has been overwhelming.
At the Minnesota State Fair, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
And the fair business has led to more customers at the restaurant's Brooklyn Center and Minneapolis locations. The owners say they've had to double their staff just to keep up with demand. Still ahead, youth-inspired art in Plymouth.
But first, we meet the new head coach of the Wayzata football team. Jay Wilcox previews the Trojans next.
Most local soccer teams have at least one game in the books now. The Benilde St. Margaret's boys shot for a win in their season opener. The Red Knights at home to face Duluth Marshall. Marshall strikes first as Ben Wallerstein blocks the pass and then tucks the shot just inside the goalpost. A nice individual effort for him. The Hilltoppers grab a 1-0 lead. Benilde ties it up though as Eli Lloyd puts on the brakes, then drops a nice pass to Nick Figueroa and he buries the shot. The game is tied up 1-1 at halftime. In the second half, Benilde goes in front as Figueroa turns the corner, then crosses it to Ben Ragland for the redirect goal. BSM has the lead for good. Lloyd sends it ahead to Kalen Wong, and he'll head it past the goalkeeper before colliding with him. It counts. Benilde leads 3-1 on the way to a 3-2 victory. The Wayzata girls swimming and diving team has developed into a perennial power over the last several years. The coach that led that ascension stepped down during the off-season, but her replacement is no stranger to Trojan swimming. Jason Lolo reports.
Heather Arseth was a standout swimmer at Wayzata before going on to compete at the University of Miami and in the London and Rio Olympics. She was an assistant coach for the Trojans last season and this fall takes over as the new head coach.
She knows what we're doing, she knows how the system works, and it's just nice to have someone familiar on the pool deck, just knowing what she's doing, like what she did last year with us, and we're glad to have her here.
You can tell she's super experienced, and so knowing that she swam here and we're like almost following in her footsteps, she's guiding us in the right path.
Arseth will guide a strong team that always has big numbers and championship aspirations. The Trojans won 3 state titles under former head coach Elizabeth Hansen. Hansen is staying on as a part-time assistant, and that's helping Arseth get acclimated to the head job.
I mean, I learned a lot from her last year as assistant, so that eased the transition a little bit. But having her here, now that I have a lot more administrative duties and tasks, she can kind of guide me, and I definitely go to her with a lot of questions, and she's been really patient with me. So it's nice to kind of have her there to fall back on, but I'm trying to kind of make my way myself as well.
The Trojans took second at the state meet in 2016, and a lot of those swimmers returned, including Cindy Zhao, Melinda Zhang, Jordan McGinty, and diver Ellie Morrison. That core, along with a lot of very good newcomers, have Wayzata set up to be a top team again.
It really makes us want to push hard and sort of win that spot back, and it gives us an incentive to keep going and throughout the entire season be working our hardest.
Jason Melillo, CCX Sports.
The Trojans placed 3rd at the Eau Claire Invitational over the weekend. They host Benilde St. Margaret's on Thursday. Well, they've won 3 state titles since the turn of the century, but Wayzata's football program has fallen off in recent years. They'll have a new look this fall. Here's today's training camp report. For a program that was one of the state's best in the early 2000s, last year's 2-7 mark was un-Wayzata-like. The Trojans hope to change that this fall.
I think we're going to bounce back for sure. I think we're going to be a difficult opponent to take down. So,
yes, we view it as a bounce back, but I mean, also it's kind of like we've been kind of told to just forget about it and move on from the past and just kind of start over.
New head coach Lambert Brown came into the program as assistant head coach last fall. The former Fridley and Chaska coach and Maple Grove AD is excited about leading the Trojans.
You know, I've been enjoying it. We've really worked hard on what our identity is going to be, you know, what Trojan pride means to us, and how we want to practice, how we want to play, and we're getting the install of the offensive defense, and it's been a great group of kids to work with.
The Trojans do have a handful of key returners. Linebacker Calum Eugene is a good one. Defensive ends Pat Ashwell and Mike Dugan played a lot of varsity ball. On the offensive line, center Tommy Ransom and left tackle Nick Davis return. Running backs Deshaun Cockrell and Alec Underhill have great potential. Quarterback Keaton Heidi is back after starting late last season. The Trojans will look a little different scheme-wise, and how quickly that becomes second nature will be a key.
It's very different. Whole new offense, whole new, much faster and everything. And it's just been fun.
Overall, I think we're going to be very fast, actually exceptionally fast, and I think we're going to be flying around the field and we're going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns.
You know, where they're going through change, and our ability to grow is going to be based on their ability to absorb that change, handle that, you know, and I know that that's difficult, and they've done a phenomenal job with it, and it's a change for our coaching staff. We're all learning how to work together for the first time.
It'll be an interesting season as Wayzata tries to rise up to past heights this fall. Here is the rundown on the Trojans. They won 2 games last year. Lambert Brown takes over as their head coach. 3 starters return on each side of the ball, and they open Thursday against Rosemount. That's all for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, Jay, thank you. With more distractions for drivers than ever before, some area teams got to listen from A-list professionals.
And that's right. Race car drivers and Secret Service agents shared their secrets on the road. Here is Emily Vergoose.
We're doing a hands-on defensive driving school. Our professional instructors are taking the young teens out and showing them park control. Essentially just getting the teens to make a better decision behind the wheel and try to get home safely. Because unfortunately, those teen crashes are affecting a lot of people.
One of the most defining moments for any teen, earning their driver's license. But it can also be a parent's worst nightmare.
As a parent, you're always concerned about your child. And when you can't control their environment, it's even more scary that something could happen.
World champion drag racer Doug Herbert lived that nightmare, losing both of his sons in a reckless driving accident.
What we did out of that rough situation is we put a program together to try to offset some of the lack of training some of these young teens aren't receiving in high school.
You jammed on the brake really hard. And so remember that egg analogy we talked about in the classroom? Yeah. So squeeze it on a little less aggressively.
The free teen defensive driving program called Brakes made a pit stop in the Twin Cities.
Yikes.
Teens were put in the driver's seat and challenged with beer goggles.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
That people drive like that.
Confusing, disorienting.
And distractions.
We need a good song. Can you change the station really quick?
Instructors also simulate bad weather situations.
That's it.
Teens learn from driving professionals.
So that was good.
And in Howard Halterman's case, the guy who trained stunt drivers for the movie Fast and the Furious.
People that take this course, their parents think that they're going to come out of this being more aggressive drivers because of their confidence, but it's the opposite of that. Because they do get humbled and they do hit cones, it changes their whole mindset and they start driving in a different way.
I'm a Paul Walker. I don't know, I'm just playing, but
the instructors' backgrounds gain them instant respect from the teens.
Just to keep on trying, because at first it's hard, but then you just start to catch on easy.
I love the confidence.
The goal? Students can predict problems on the road and have more confidence too.
I'm good at this time. Yes, you are. The perfect lap.
Emily Bergoose, CCX News.
The Brakes program says its graduates are 64% less likely to get in a car crash in the next 3 years. We'll be right back. Local youth inspire art in Plymouth.
City leaders unveiled a new mural at Plymouth City Hall. It was done by artists from the University of Minnesota. The mural spells out the word community and represents the values of 6th and 7th grade students who participated in a summer camp at Interfaith Outreach.
The kids really got to explore not only their community but their own self-esteem and art, and even if they didn't like art, they found that it was really a good process to express themselves, and they all felt very valued. So it just all around was just a great project.
The mural will be on display at City Hall through the end of September. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here at Tuesday starting at 4.